Hello everybody! If you guys enjoyed this video, remember that you guys should become patrons over on Patreon if you guys want to support the channel. And you guys should subscribe to get notified about more Miraculous Ladybug videos like this one, and all that stuff. So today we are actually going to be talking about Adrien's mom, how she got into the state that she is today, all of that sort of stuff, because now the season's over. We've seen We've seen that the Peacock Miraculous holder is actually Natalie. A lot of people thought that, I guess her name is Emily. I don't think it's Emile, even though that's how it kind of looks. Obviously, it's in French, so I think it is supposed to be Emily, right? So we see, like, Emily is not coming back yet, so that's a little awkward, because a lot of people thought she was going to, except for me. I'm the one who made the theory about it being Natalie, so you guys are in good hands today for our theory crafting. Anyway, here's what I think happened. So, in the Miraculous Ladybug timeline, right, like, Master Fu explains he made a mistake which led to the Guardian's Temple being destroyed, and Hawkmoth, the Moth Miraculous, and the Peacock Miraculous ended up getting lost, as well as the spellbook, right? Somehow, Gabriel and Emily, it seems, they got their hands on everything, and it's unclear how. And for me, it doesn't make sense that Gabriel and Emily would take the Miraculouses to do supervillain things before she got sick, because the only reason Hawkmoth is, like, doing this now is to bring back his wife. So perhaps somehow, before they had them, they were either using it to help people or for their own personal gain before Hawkmoth became a villain. And so that's what I think may have happened. So, say for example, after the destruction of the temple, people started selling objects on the black market, such as the Miraculous Spellbook and all of that sort of stuff. Emily gives it to Gabriel. Gabriel and her then seek the power that's inside it. Gabriel finds the Moth and the Peacock Miraculous. He gives the Peacock Miraculous to his wife. We know that Master Fu picks a Miraculous holder somewhere in this timeline that was a bad choice, and we don't know a lot about that. It's unlikely the people that he picked would have been Gabriel or Emily, since then he'd know where to find the lost Miraculouses, but here's my idea with that. So, let's say, for example, Gabriel ends up finding the Miraculouses on the black market or something. I could see how Gabriel could use them for his own personal gain because he's a fashion designer, right? And so he could akumatize people without turning them evil or having them do stuff. He could control them down the runway and become even more famous, right? Because they also have interesting clothing when they turn into supervillains, so I feel like that sort of fits very well. I don't know exactly what Emily would use the Peacock Miraculous for, though, since the power seems to be creating an ally out of the person's emotions. So Natalie creates, like, an ally for him out of the greatest despair, but maybe she does it out of happiness. Like, maybe as a kid, Adrien had all these imaginary friends that were allies created out of, you know, his happiness, and that Emily wanted him to have, so he wouldn't be, like, so lonely as a kid, because he only has Chloe as a friend. Right, and then she goes missing before a year before the show starts, and I believe the reason for this is because she was using the Peacock Miraculous so much, she didn't realize it was making her sick, and it was making her damaged, and I think it was damaged in the destruction of the temple, and then slowly ended up hurting her until she ends up in the coffin. She disappears only a year before the show starts, so it's possible she's been at this for a while, and so I think it's also possible that this happened in the reverse order. For example, Gabriel, in this timeline, uses a spellbook for his fashion designs, but nothing more. Then, Emily gets sick in another way, which actually has nothing to do with the Peacock Miraculous. Gabriel seeks power to help his sick wife, and then thinks that maybe the Peacock Miraculous would help. She makes him, he makes her even more sick, so he tries figuring out how to use the Moth Miraculous to help, and maybe the reason he walks, like, with a cane also, is because he tried to use the Peacock Miraculous to help, like, make her better, like, to bring back his wife, and then he got himself a little bit sick as well. And I think through studying the books, he found out that the Miraculouses of the Ladybug and Cat would be able to grant a wish. And this order makes a lot more sense to me, because I don't understand why Gabriel and Emily would have used the Miraculouses before something happened to her, unless they were using it for, like, their own personal gain. So basically, I feel like in this theory, the spellbook happened first, then her sickness happened, then they got the Miraculouses, right? And the Peacock Miraculous, in my opinion, probably got damaged in the destruction of the temple. So here's our two theories so far. One theory is Gabriel and Emily find the Peacock and Moth Miraculouses, right? They use them for their own personal gain, and then the Peacock Miraculous makes Emily sick. So that's one. Two, is that Gabriel finds the spell book, or whatever happened. I think Emily finds it and gives it to Gabriel. It's like a whole thing, right? Gabriel finds the spell book. He uses it for his fashion designs, but nothing more. Then Emily gets sick, like, in a real world way, not a magical way. And then Gabriel tries to use the Peacock and Hawk Miraculouses to bring her back. And then, you know, obviously it doesn't work because the Peacock Miraculous is damaged, and then the Hawk Moth Miraculous, or I guess it's not a Hawk Moth Miraculous, he's Hawk Moth, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, the Moth Miraculous doesn't work. But I think either way, the Peacock Miraculous did get damaged in the destruction of the temple. So those are two theories, and they're not that different, but I feel like it's interesting, because the first one, you'd have, like, Emily using it to make Adrien companions. You'd have Gabriel using it for his personal gain, but then he loses his wife, and so how valuable were the Miraculouses that he got from the black market in the end? Or, in this way, he was so desperate to try and help his wife, like he was trying, like, literally everything, and nothing was working. And then he became Hawkmoth. And this just also makes sense for me because Hawkmoth doesn't become evil until a whole year after Emily disappears. So I feel like that in, like, this case, she wouldn't have gotten sick because of the Peacock Miraculous. Like, something else, like, or they had to be using it for something else before then, because they didn't start out as villains, and they also didn't start out as heroes, so the only way this makes sense is either Emily got sick by something that wasn't the Peacock Miraculous, or Emily got sick because of the Peacock Miraculous, and because they were using the Peacock Miraculous for their own personal gain. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And that's my best guess for what's going on, and I think that, like, Natalie wants Hawkmoth to forget about his wife and be with her, which I think is interesting. And I wonder if Natalie will use the Peacock Miraculous more throughout the show, and Adrien will start to notice she's beginning to get sick. And, you know, Adrien's attached to her. He doesn't want to lose her like he lost his mom. And I also wonder if Natalie will clue Adrien in a little bit and make him suspicious of his father. So here's my other theory, but it gets a bit messy when it gets involved in the timeline. And so my favorite theory is the personal gain theory. That's what I'll call it. Is that they used it for their own personal use, and then Emily got sick, and so he tried to start, you know, using it to save her, and now he's a villain. Right? So here's my other theory. So Master Fu makes a mistake, and both the Peacock and Moth Miraculous get lost. Emily and Gabriel find the Peacock and Moth Miraculous, and Emily wants to be a hero. She wants to save the day, so she uses the Peacock Miraculous to get rid of the villain. And the villain that I'm talking about is, remember, Master Fu said once he made a bad choice for a Miraculous holder, and everything went wrong. So, in this case, they would just sort of find the Moth and Peacock Miraculous, and they would play hero. They would work together to take the villain down, because, again, remember, Master Fu said he made a bad choice for a Miraculous holder, and so the idea here is that Gabriel and Emily used to be heroes, like, in their youth, while another Miraculous fell into the hands of the villain. Emily then falls ill because of the constant transforming, since the Miraculous probably got damaged, you know, during the temple's destruction. Master Fu then recovers, the Miraculous from the Miraculous holder, who he said was a bad choice, but doesn't recover Emily and Gabriel's Miraculouses, you know, because obviously I think they were in Tibet, and then they went back to France, right? So he tracks them down to Paris. He's still looking for them, but Emily gets sick. She ends up going in a coma. Instead of working, like, as a hero, Gabriel then has to use his powers to become a villain and avenge his wife. And so I really like this idea. I don't necessarily understand, like, how it fits in the timeline, but then my question would be, which Miraculous did Master Fu give out that ended up being a bad idea? Did Gabriel and Emily recover it for him, but then refuse to give up their powers? And, like I said, I like all of these theories. I think they all have some different perks and all of that stuff. And I guess the question is now, is Emily, or I guess is Natalie gonna suffer the same fate as Emily? Like, is that something that's gonna happen in the show, right? Because what if she keeps using it, and then she keeps getting sick, and now Hawkmoth has not one, but two people to save, and he starts to get more and more desperate. And I also like if one day this creates a lot of conflict between Adrien and Gabriel. Like, Adrien's like, hey, Natalie's sick, you should give her a day off, like, something's wrong with her, right? And they have this whole conversation, and, like, you know, they almost caught him as Hawkmoth once. So I feel like, you know, there's a pretty close call here, and I also feel like the Peacock Miraculous holder, now that it's revealed, maybe Plague would finally remember he saw it beside the spell book and, like, expose his father. And that's basically all that I have for today. So tell me which theory is your favorite. One, the personal gain theory. They use the Miraculouses for their personal gain. Emily gets sick, then he has to become a villain as Hawkmoth. Two is that Emily got sick because of something else, so Hawkmoth, like, finds what Miraculous is, because apparently, you know, he doesn't know how they're used yet. Like, oh, I heard these could be, like, used as a cure, right? But it just makes her worse. She gets more sick. She ends up in the coma. 3, they were playing superhero for a while. They helped Master Fu stop the Miraculous Holder, who we picked that was a bad choice, but refused to give up their powers, went back to Paris, and Master Fu has been looking for them ever since. So those are all my theories. Tell me which one's your favorite. Make sure to comment down below and discuss with me. And remember, if you guys enjoyed our videos, you guys should subscribe so you guys can get notified about all this. I hope that you guys have a miraculous day, and I will see you later. Bye! Thank you to our wonderful patrons over on Patreon for supporting the channel. Patrons get a bunch of different cool rewards, ranging from access to VIP chats, or getting video tickets, which can basically be used to request us to do videos, for example. We can advance early access, or access to our Discord server. All of those are rewards that our patrons can get, and it's pretty cool. I do recommend it if you guys want to support the channel. We have so much fun talking on our Discord server about whatever it may be, whether that's Ruby or Kingdom Hearts or Miraculous Ladybug, right? And the early access helps you guys obviously get to see our videos before anybody else does, and so that's also pretty cool. The VIP chat is pretty exclusive. I can reply like a bit faster there. It's a bit more one-on-one. So if you guys are interested in any of those, I do suggest that you guys become patrons over on Patreon. The link is in the description, and thank you again for all of our patrons for helping us out. We'll see you guys later. Bye.